Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this class. And in this session, we are going to look into the three-phase power continuation from the previous class. And uh, we also learn about there are two types of a connection that we can have in case of a three-phase. That is a star connection and a delta connection. We will look into detail in today's class. Just to go over the what we discussed in the previous class. In the previous class, we looked into how do we generate the three-phase power. So, how to generate the three-phase power? Very similar to the single-phase power. Instead of having one set of coil and rotating in the magnetic field, we will have three sets of coil. We will have three sets of coil, R1, R2, that is the first phase, first coil, that is called as a R phase, and we will have Y1, Y2, that is a Y phase, B1, B2, that is the B phase, indicated by red, yellow, blue. Now, if you see the Y1 is placed 120-degree apart and B1 coil is placed 240-degree apart with respect to the R1 phase. So, when EMF is when we are going to all these are mounted on the same armature and they will be rotated with the same speed. So everything is like mounted on the same armature. When we rotate the armature, whole all the three coils will rotate simultaneously. Whatever the speed you rotate, all the three coils will get rotated with the same speed. In case of a R1 phase, at 0 degree, when t is equal to 0, that is time is equal to 0, the EMF will start generating and it will have one, when this completes one rotation, it will have one cycle. Similarly, when this Y1, it has a phase delay of 120-degree. When it comes to this position, that is after 120-degree, it will come to this position, then it will have the EMF generated. That is how Y phase EMF would be lagging behind the R phase EMF or the voltage by 120-degree. And the B1 phase will take 240-degree to come to this reference point. So in B1 phase, after 240-degree, the EMF will start generating, or in other words, the EMF or the voltage generated in B1 phase will lag the R phase by 240-degree. And how do we represent the instantaneous voltage in each of these phase? ER, that is the voltage in the R phase, ER is equal to EM sine omega t. And I told you EM is the peak value of the voltage, and it would be exactly the same in all the coils, because the coil number of turns, length of the coil, nature of the material, everything is same. So the EM, the maximum EMF that is induced, which depends on BLV, that is B is the magnetic flux density, L is the length of the coil, which is same for all, and the velocity with which rotated all the three phases are exactly the same. So EM would be constant and it is same for all the phases. For R phase, ER is equal to EM sine omega t. For Y phase, EY is equal to EM sine omega t minus 120-degree. And for the B phase, EB is equal to EM sine omega t minus 240-degree. And if you draw the phasor diagram, you can see this is the R. Y is lagging. The Y phase is lagging by 120-degree, and the B phase is lagging for the another 120, total of 240-degree with respect to the R phase. So if you see all of them, like they are like 120-degree apart. So that is how the EMF phase, three-phase voltage or the power is generated. These are the equation just we discussed about. And the waveform, R phase, it will start from the 0. Okay, then it will continue. Sinusoidal cycles will continue as the rotation continues. Then E phase, it has a phase delay of 120-degree and it will have the same sinusoidal. And then the B phase, it starts from here, that is 240-degree lagging. After 240-degree, it will start. Now, as long as the three coils are rotating in the magnetic field, we are going to see the three-phase voltage on the terminals of those particular conductors. So how many terminals are there? Three phases. For each coil, there are two terminals, right? R phase coil has two terminals. Y phase has two terminals and B phase has two terminals. And when we have two terminals, total six terminals. So there are two possible connections, that are star and the delta. In case of a star, all the one ends are connected together and other end will form as the terminals for the three-phase power, and the common point where all the three phases are joined, that is considered as a neutral point. If we want to take, if I told you, like one of the advantage of three phases, like we convert three phase into a single phase. If I take the voltage between any terminal and the neutral point, okay, we get a single phase voltage. And phase sequence, the sequence in which the alternating of phases, they take the peak value, is called as the phase sequence. So RYB indicates the maximum peak value is attained by the R phase first, then Y phase, and then B phase. And phase sequences are very important when you are connecting the loads, when you are connecting the generators together for the synchronization purposes. You have to know the sequence. Proper sequence should be connected to the, whenever we are doing such kind of a things like a synchronization. Proper phases should be connected to the appropriate phases of the other system. Balance supply, we already know. A three-phase supply will have a three-phase load, right? So this is the three-phase load, where like we have the load is connected similar to the uh, uh, the generator or the generating side. On the load side also we have the three phases, okay, and these three phases again it will be connected in a either star or delta. For example, here it is connected in star. This is one load, this is another load, and this is another load. So this is the three phase load connected in star. And what kind of a load it is, we have already discussed it in the single phase. What kind of loads we can have? Different loads we can have in AC. We can have resistor, capacitor, inductor, combination of RC, RL, RLC, or any other parallel combination. So it could be anything. Suppose if it is RL, this is also RL, and this is also RL. And when we say it's a balanced supply, whenever the EMF generated by all these are exactly equal. So balance supply means what? All the phases, they generate equal amount of voltage. If in other way we can say, these are the three terminals. I told you one each of this coil is connected to one common node. One end is connected to one common node, forming a neutral, and other end is the terminal of that phase. Suppose this is a R phase terminal, this is a Y phase terminal, this is a B phase terminal. If I measure voltage between R and Y, that is ERY, and if I measure between the voltage between R and B, ERB, or between the terminal Y and B, EYB, if all these voltages are exactly equal, then we call it as a balanced supply. So here condition is what? ERY is equal to ERB is equal to EYB. And similar to that, balance load, this is the supply we have. This is the supply, and supply is connected to a load, three-phase load. And this is one phase, this is another phase, this is another phase. So load, what kind of a load? So we can have RLC, RLRC, RLC, or any parallel combination. And when we say a load is balanced, if the impedance of this L1, load 1, impedance of L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3. If all these impedances are equal, then they will draw the same amount of current from each of the phases. Then we call it as a balance supply. Let us say we have a RL here. Similarly, we have to have a RL. Similarly, we have to have a RL. So the type, the nature of the load as well as the magnitude, both should be equal. What is the meaning of that? Suppose I have a impedance 20 ohm, 20 ohm, 20 ohm, but this is a RL, this is RL, and this is resistance to, 20 ohm. This is not called as a balanced load. Or the nature, either if it is a RL, then all should be RL. If it is a RC, all should be RC. Then the impedance should be, magnitude of the impedance should be exactly the same. Then we call it as a balanced supply. Today we will look into relations for a star connected load. Very important from the exam perspective. Uh, Either there are two types of connections we can have, as I told before, star or the delta. So in case of a star, they will ask you to do the derivation of the relation between the line voltage and the phase voltage. I will explain you what is line and what is phase voltage. Similarly, in case of a delta, we have to give a relation between the line entities and the phase entities. So what are the line entities? We have line voltage and line current. And what are the phase entities? Phase voltage and phase current. First, with simple understanding of a phase. What is a phase? We already talked about three sets of coils, R, Y, and B. Those are called as the phases. So, okay, let us say this is, we have the R phase. The voltage across this phase, okay, this phase is called as a phase voltage. That is V suffix R, V suffix R. And the current that is flowing in that particular phase, IR, is called as the phase current. Okay, I hope it is understood by everybody. The voltage across the phase, okay, is called as the phase voltage. The current that is flowing in the phase is called as the the phase current. So here, what is the phase voltage? VR, and phase current IR, and we represent the phase current, phase voltage as V, uh, subscript PH, VPH, and current IPH. So I phase and V phase. Similarly, if you consider this particular phase, that is a Y phase, the voltage across this phase is Vy, that is V phase, and the current that is flowing is Iy, or the phase current Iph. Similarly for the B phase. Now, these three phases are connected in star. Okay, star meaning what? One end of each the coil is connected to a common point, and other end will become the terminal. Okay, so this is the terminal R, terminal B, terminal Y. And what is the line voltage? Now we understood what is the phase voltage and phase current. What is the line voltage? Is at the terminal. If you measure the voltage between any two terminal, that is called as a line voltage. That is voltage between RB or RY or BY. Okay, those voltages are called as the line voltages. And the current entering these terminals, so you can see IR, the current entering the terminal, are called as a line current. So here, what is the voltage between R and Y? VRY is nothing but the line voltage, and it is represented as V suffix L, VL, VL, that is V line voltage. Okay, then similarly the line voltage, the voltage between R and B, okay, VBR, VBR, that is a line voltage. And third one is between Y and B, VYB. Between these two terminals, the voltage is the line voltage VYB, and the line currents are IR, IB, and IY. So this is how you have to draw the diagram, and make sure that you take it in a sequence. So the sequences are followed by Y and followed by B. And whenever you are representing these quantities, RYB is the sequencing. So RY, YB, and BR. So that is how you represent the line voltages. Now, in this circuit, we know what is the line voltage. What are the line voltages we identified? VRY, VBR, and VYB. And assuming that it is a balanced load supplied from the balance supplied, VL is equal to VRY, VBR, VYB. And line current IL is equal to IR, IB, and IY. Those are the line entities. Phase entities, V suffix PH, V phase is equal to VR, is equal to VB, so this should be VB, and VY. And I phase is equal to IR, IY, and IB. And the direction of the current is going inside, because this is a load. Load is going to consume. This side I have the power supply, and from power supply the current is flowing to the load. That is how we get this direction of the current. Now considering this same circuit, whatever we discussed, line voltages, VL is equal to VRY, VYB, VBR. Those are the between terminals. I hope you are understanding. VRY and VYB and VBR, between these two VBR. And line current, this IR, IB and IY. Those are the line currents. And phase voltages, V phase. So this is VL, IL. These are the line entities, and the phase entities V phase and I phase. V phase is equal to VR, VI, VY, VB. These are the voltages across each of the phase. And phase current is I phase is equal to IR, I phase is equal to IR, IY, IB. These are the currents that is flowing in each of the phase. Now, the next most important thing is drawing the phasor diagram. Drawing the phasor diagram, you have already understood it in the single phase. We have three phases, isn't it? So voltage in the R phase, V is equal to VR is equal to Vm sin omega t, and Y phase V is equal to Vm sin omega t minus 120 degree. Vb is equal to Vm sin omega t minus 240 degree. First, you draw the VR. This is the phase voltage, right? First, we are going to draw the phase voltage, because the equations I just told you is the instantaneous equations for the phase voltages. That is, this is VR. This goes on the x-axis because VR is equal to Vm sin omega t. So it is with the reference. Okay, and you are going to draw Vy 120 degree behind. So Vy is lagging 120 degree. So exactly you will take 120 degree and you will draw Vy. The length of the VR and length of the Vy would be exactly the same. The reason being, it is a balance supply. And behind this VR, okay, 240 degree lagging, you are going to draw VB. So from this 240 degree lagging, you are going to draw the VB. So what is a VB? VB is the phase voltage for the B phase. Now I have VR 120 degree apart, VY 120 degree apart, VB, and this angle would be also 120 degree. As we know that the complete angle of this circle is 360 degree. Now we have to find the relation between the line voltage and the phase voltage. Once you draw the phasor diagram, let us come back to the circuit. Now, what is the line voltage? We'll take just one example, and same can be applied for the other also. We will take an example of this VRY between terminal R and terminal Y. What is the voltage between terminal R and Y? VRY, which is line voltage. And if you see that, what is VRY, you can just proceed on the circuit diagram. So this phase, okay, that is VR, then Vy, and back to this terminal. So you can just see what is the voltage between R and Y. Between R and Y, I have this phase, okay, R phase, neutral. You can say this as N, okay, and I have one more Y phase and back to the terminal. So what would be VRY is equal to, effectively VRY is the phasor sum of this voltage and this voltage. Therefore VRY is equal to VRN plus, from this point you have to take, you can take this as N, VNY. Okay, once again, what is the VRY? R and Y is these two. What is VRY? VRY is equal to voltage across this, which is VRN. So we have just represented as R. You can say VRN. This node is N. Then what is this? Plus, that is a phasor sum, plus VNY. Okay, so that is how we can see the equation here. Okay, VRY is equal to VR minus VY. How we got it? I showed you. VRY is equal to, if you consider the node where all the coils are meeting as N, neutral point, VRY is equal to VRN plus VNY. But what we represent is a VYN, that is the phase voltage. but Vny is equal to minus Vyn. So this is represented in terms of phase as minus Vyn. Therefore, Vry is equal to Vrn minus Vyn. And we don't specify the n because it is understood that is a neutral. Always we specify the phase voltage as Vr minus Vy. That is how we get this one. Vry is equal to Vr minus Vy. Okay, so what is the this meaning of this? The line voltage VL is the phasor sum of VR and minus VY. So we are going to draw that. We already have VR and this is VY. If I take it on the opposite side, it will become minus Vy. I have minus Vy drawn here and this is Vr. Now the phasor sum of Vr and minus Vy is going to be the Vry, and angle between Vr and Vy, because this is going to bisect this angle is 60 degree. Okay, this is 60 degree. Now using the parallelogram method, so just I will draw this, and this line is equivalent and parallel to Vr, and this line is parallel to minus Vy and same length. If I join that, this would be the Vry. Now, if you see the consider this triangle, we have O A B C. This is the triangle, and this particular phasor is going to bisect these two. So this angle is 30 degree. If I say angle AOC is 30 degree. Now, with that diagram, we will see OC is equal to CB is equal to VL by 2. So what we are going to do is, from this point, we are going to draw a perpendicular and it is going to bisect this line. And what is this line? This line is VRY or VL. So it will bisect this line. That's why we have OC is equal to CB is equal to VL by 2, half of the VL. So I hope everybody agrees. OC is equal to CB is equal to VL by 2. And from triangle OAB, cos 30 is equal to OC by OA. Okay, from this triangle, okay, we can say cos of 30 is equal to OC by OA. So this is OC and this is OA. And what is OC? OC is VL by 2 and OA is what? VR. That is what we are going to represent. OC is what? VL by 2 and OA is nothing but the VR or the V phase. We already know that it is a phase. Then cos of 30 is root 3 by 2. This 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So what is the relation? VL is equal to root 3 times V phase. Okay. So line voltage is equal to root 3 times the phase voltage. So this is the relation between the three phase and the sorry, relation between the phase and the line voltages in case of a star connected load. Therefore, whenever you say what is the line voltage, it would be 1.732 times or the root 3 times V phase. So always line voltage is more than the phase voltage in case of a star connection. That would be VL is equal to root 3 V phase. So this is the important derivation from exam perspective. So this is the relation between the line voltage and the phase voltage. Now what is the relation between the line current and the phase current? Let us go back to the circuit diagram. Okay, now you can see whatever the current that is entering this terminal line, the same current will flow through the phase also. If I see here from this point to this point, I have only one path for the current. Therefore, this line current IR is equal to the phase current. Therefore, IL is equal to I phase. If you see for other phases also exactly the same. You can see IB is equal to this IB, that is line IL is equal to I phase. Similarly, here you can see whatever the current that is flowing here, the same current is also flowing in the phase. So in case of a star connected load, remember VL is equal to root 3 times V phase and IL is equal to I phase. Very, very important relation. We can solve a lot of problems based on these relations. So that is the okay, this is the end of the derivation. Now, what is the power consumed in the three phase? So whenever you are doing the analysis of a three phase, first we have to do it for the one phase and multiply it by three times. That will apply to the three phases. And we already know how to analyze the single phase. See, if I give single phase RLRC, RLC, any single phase, I know how to analyze that one. So the power consumed by each phase. So each phase, I have R phase, Y phase, and B phase. The power consumed in each phase is PH, that is P phase is equal to V phase into I phase into cos phi. What is cos phi? It is the phase angle. Phase angle, that is the angle between the V phase and the I phase. And what would be the power consumed in three-phase circuit? The power consumed in three circuit is equal to three times the power consumed in single phase. Therefore, the power consumed in a three-phase circuit is P is equal to 3 into V phase I phase cos phi. It would be represented in terms of watts. Now, if this is in terms of the phase voltage and the phase current, can we represent it as a line voltage and line current? Yes. Okay, because we already know the relation between the V phase and VL, I phase and IL. I can easily write the power equation in terms of the line parameters. In terms of line values, 3 V phase. We know in case of a star connected load, VL is equal to root 3 times V phase, or V phase is equal to VL by root 3. So VL by root 3. V phase is equal to VL by root 3. I phase is equal to IL in case of a star, and cos phi will remain as is. So you can see here 3 divided by root 3, that will become root 3. And if you are calculating in terms of the line values, the power consumed in three phase is equal to root 3 times VL IL into cos phi. Now we will see the relation in a delta connection. Delta connection, you can see if the phases are connected in such a way. So this is the another way of a connecting. Earlier connection, all the nodes, common nodes were connected to one point. The other were the terminals. Here we have connected the three coils in the shape of a triangle. So that's why we call it as a it is a the delta connection. So in case of a delta connection, in case of a star connection, I have possibility of having four terminals. One is R, Y, B, and another is the neutral. In case of a delta connection, I will have only three wires. Okay, so transmission lines, all those are transmitted in the delta. So we have only three lines, so we can save on the copper. This is the how it is connected, and we have the R phase, then Y phase, and the B phase. Here very important is marking the current. Now this is R, B, and Y. IR, this is the line current. So R, B, and Y are the terminals. The current that is entering is a line current. We already discussed. IR, it is IL, and these are the line voltages. IR, IB, and IY line voltages represented as IL. And what are the line? These are the line currents. IR, IB, and IY. And what are the line voltages? VRY, okay, between this and this, VRY, and VBR between this and this, and VYB between this. These are the line. VL is equal to VRY is equal to VBR is equal to VYB, and IL is equal to IY is equal to IB. Now you can see the line current is coming to the this node R. You can see there are two possible paths. So the current will get divided into those two parts. Just make sure that you take the direction properly, so that it will become very, if you remember this diagram properly, rest of the things is very easy. Now take the current as like this. Okay, this is the phase current that is flowing in phase R. IRY and IYB. Direction is IYB and IBR. So you can see it is like a circular. This is IRY this current is IYB, and this current is IBR. These are the phase currents. Okay, what is phase current? I phase is equal to IRY, IYB is equal to IBR. And what are the voltages across these phases? You can see here VRY, this is across the phase Y, VYB across the phase Y, and VBR across the phase B. Now we will try to find a relationship between the line and the phase entities. So this you already identified. Okay, V phase and the I phase we identified. Now, when you are drawing the circuit, I told you, remember the direction of the current. So this is the direction of the current IR. This is IRY. Just I'm not showing the coils here so that it is easy to see the currents. This is IRY, IYB, and IBR. So if I apply KCL at this node, that is node R, what I will get? You can see incoming currents IR, IBR. Those are the incoming currents. Outgoing current is IRY. So I can write sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. That is IR plus IBR is equal to IRY. Or I can write IR is equal to IRY minus IBR. This is IR, and I am taking this on the other side, IRY minus IBR. And already we know IR is what? IR is the line current, isn't it? IR, IY, IB are the line current. So this is IL. And what is this current? IRY is nothing but I phase, I phase. Now you can see here the line current IR can be calculated by the phasor sum of IRY and minus IBR. And similarly, we can write the equation for IY from this applying at node Y and B. IY is equal to IYB minus IRY. IB is equal to IBR minus IYB. Now we will draw the phasor diagram for the currents. Okay, phase currents. You can see IRY. IRY is the what? Phase current that is in the R phase. We know that in R phase it starts from the 0. OA represents IRY, which is a phase current in R phase, and 120-degree lagging, I will be having the Y phase current, that is IYB. Okay, this is 120-degree, and 240-degree lagging will be B phase current. IBR is equal to that is I phase current. Now, from the above equation, if I want to find IR, okay, IR is the line current, phasor sum of IRY minus IBR. So I will take this is IRY and this is IBR. If I take it on the opposite direction, minus IBR. Now the phasor sum of IRY and minus IBR is nothing but IR, which is nothing but the line current. So using the parallelogram method, we join this. This represents, that is OB represents IL. Okay, and similar to previous analysis, applying the cos for 30, cos of 30 is what? OC divided by A, and OC is what? This is the perpendicular we are drawing, so it will bisect this. OC would be IL by 2. Okay, IL by 2 or IR by 2. IR is nothing but the line current, and OA is nothing but IRY or the I phase current. That is what it is written. Cos 30 root 3 by 2. This is IR by 2. OC, OA, IRY. That is how you get what we get is this is nothing but IR is nothing but IL, IRY is nothing but I phase. So we get IL is equal to root 3 times I phase. So that is how in case of a delta connection, the line current is equal to root 3 times the phase current. Therefore, in case of a delta circuits, the amount of current that flows in a line current is more than phase current. How much more? Root 3 times or the 1.732 times. And this is the relation for the line current and phase current. IL is equal to root 3 times I phase. Now we will check what is the relation between the line voltage and the phase voltage. So you can see here these two points I will consider. This and this, that is voltage between terminal R and terminal Y. So if I take, that is VRY is the line voltage, VL is equal to VRY. If I extend this terminal to this is the terminal I am here, and I extend this terminal to this point. So what I am saying is, I am seeing the voltage between R and Y. So whatever the voltage I am trying to measure between the terminal and R and Y is nothing but the voltage between this point and this point. That is nothing but the voltage across the phase, right? That is VRY. Therefore, the line voltage is equal to phase voltage. That is VL is equal to V phase in case of a delta connection. So that is why in case of a delta connection, we get the applied line voltage is equal to a phase voltage, and for the current, IL is equal to root 3 times I phase. So just it is reverse of a star connection. Star connection, voltage gets divided. So in case of a star, VL is equal to root 3 times V phase, IL is equal to I phase. And in case of a delta, current gets divided. IL is equal to root 3 times I phase, and VL is equal to V phase. You have to remember this so that we can solve the problems easily. And power consumption, it is same. What is the power consumed in one phase? V phase into I phase into cos phi. What would be the power consumed in three phases? 3 times the power consumed in single phase. That is, P is equal to 3 into V phase into I phase into cos phi. And in terms of the line voltage, we know in case of a delta connection, V phase is equal to VL. So we keep the 3 as is. V phase is VL. And what is I phase? In case of a star connection, IL is equal to root 3 times I phase, or I phase is equal to IL divided by root 3. I phase is equal to IL divided by root 3, and 3 divided by root 3 is root 3 VL IL into cos phi. So power in terms of a line parameters, P is equal to root 3 VL IL cos phi. You have to remember one of these two formulas, or you can convert easily from one to another. In terms of phase, power consumed, P is equal to 3 times V phase I phase cos phi. And in terms of the line values, P is equal to root 3 times VL IL cos phi. Next, I told you these two are important. Again, the power measurement using the 2 wattmeter method, it has been asked repeatedly. These three things are repeatedly asked as a part of a theory question. So you have to make sure you understand these three, and you should be able to write these answers very easily. Now, I told you how we measure the power. We can use the wattmeter to measure the power. Using 1 wattmeter, we can measure what is the power consumed in a single phase circuit. Suppose we have a three-phase power measurement requirement. Suppose we have to measure the three phase power. Then simple thing is what? I can use 3 wattmeters. I will connect 1 wattmeter in each phase, and whatever the meter reading those 3 wattmeter shows, I will add them up. That is the power consumed in a three-phase system. But there is another method, which is a, like, instead of using 3 wattmeters, we can use just the 2 wattmeters and measure the power. That is called as the three-phase power measurement by 2 wattmeter method. So we will see in this particular circuit diagram, we have the three phases, and we have 2 wattmeters, wattmeter 1 and wattmeter 2. So the further discussion on this topic, we will look into the next session. In that session, we will get into the details of how to prove that 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure the power. And one more thing is, like, in the notes, there is a one very brief version of the explanation. Please do not use this brief explanation. Okay, this is a very brief explanation. Don't use that. Rather refer to this one. I will share it in your classroom as well, this particular PDF. you refer to this explanation. So I have a detailed explanation, measurement of three-phase power using two wattmeter method. Then this is the type of connection. I will discuss how the connection is done. This is the three-phase load, and we are measuring the power. Then what are the different voltage components? Then phasor diagram, how to draw this phasor diagram, and finally prove that the sum of the two wattmeter readings is nothing but the power by the power consumed by the three phase. So you can see here we proved here W2 plus W1 is equal to root 3 times VL IL cos phi. Root 3 times VL IL cos phi is nothing but the power consumed in the three phase power. Just now we saw it in star connected load as well as the delta connected load. Then we will find power factor using the wattmeter reading, and we will have problems based on the wattmeter. Okay, based on the wattmeter we have the problems, and based on the star and the delta connection we have the problems. In the next session we will look into the two wattmeter method, and we will look into some of the problems based on the star and delta, and if possible we will look into the problems based on the wattmeter readings.